All right, here we go. Turn up the goal post. Successfully nailed that first launch attempt. Very good. Winds are a little shifty today. Still kind of early, kind of thermic. They were just kind of rotating all over. A little bit of a cross wind launch there, but got it, no problem. So this is my kind of first impressions of the 21-meter Niviuk Qubik. This is actually my 4th flight on it, so it's not my very first impressions. Had some crappy weather here in Idaho, so I've only been able to get about 20-30 minute flights, which I don't feel is enough to really get a good feel for a wing. So finally got a nice day here, so we're gonna throw it up and kind of tell you my thoughts on it. We got Nick and Justin up here with us out in Star. I got this wing brand new. My hope for this wing was to have a really good cross-country wing. So I normally fly an 18-meter dewdeck warp. Obviously not going to be the best wing for cross-country. I wanted something a little bit bigger. This is a 21-meter. Something to give me some extra lift, something to give me some extra stability. This is, I guess, a B-rated wing. Tucker kind of categorized it as a hot B. I think I would agree. I'm flying a little bit bigger wing than he is, so mine's a little more tame than his. So the goal was to use this as just a cross country, be able to launch wherever I wanted, tight spots, and not worry about, you know, rotor, crappy conditions. I wanted something nice and stable, easy to launch, easy to land. Did a lot of research on wings, and this is the one that I chose. Again, 4 flights in. So far I'm happy. Haven't really flown in any real gnarly conditions. I'm hoping today kind of gives me some turbulence, some bumps. Really feel out the safety aspect of this wing. So we'll see. So in the few flights I've had, I've seen that this wing is rock solid. Flies real nice, stable. Great for cross country because there's 0 oscillation, which is a big deal for me. Flies nice and straight. Seems really stable. Haven't had any issues with stability of the wing. Haven't had any real world collapses or anything. My last flight I did throw down some fairly hard wing overs. Got about a 25% collapse on the outside of the wing, which I've had before flying kind of the same type of wing. You know, you throw it hard enough, it's not an acro wing, so at some point you will kind of test its limits. I will say when I did get the collapse, I only felt it. By the time I looked up to the wing, it was already out and fully inflated. So that's really important to me, that if you do take a collapse, which I feel is very rare, this wing is just gonna pop itself out, fix it, and off you go. Again, man, I mean, I was mid-wing over, looked up, like I felt the slack in the brake line, but by the time I looked up at the wing, it had already popped itself out. So, really stable wing. So some pros and cons that I've seen, just the very initial, from what I'm getting off this. It doesn't have 2D tight in, which is what I'm wanting, and I'm gonna keep it. It's got the regular brake handle here, which is fairly firm, but it can move around in your hand, which is nice. It's also got this separate tip steer toggle, which is a single line, goes straight out to the very tip. And it's tied in here with a little handle here, little finger handle. And that's actually snapped into the riser. So when I first launched this and realized that, I wasn't a fan. I like the magnets that you don't really have to work to get it back in there. I don't like the snap because in the winter, I'm wearing these big bulky gloves. Having to try to fiddle with that snap is gonna be a pain in the butt. So initially I wasn't liking that. But then I thought about, what am I using this wing for? I'm using this for cross country. And once I started playing around with it, flying it, I realized that as I'm cruising, instead of weight shifting a lot or bringing up my handles and using the main steering lines, I can just reach up and snag this tip steer line, pull it a little bit, and get some minor course corrections. And having this toggle snapped in there, it actually holds it in place. You do that on the magnet, it could potentially, you know, pull the magnet off. So actually having that snapped in, I can use that and do minor course corrections, and it actually works really well. It's really easy to do. So initially I wasn't a fan, but flying it, thinking about it, I actually really like it. So the wing, I got the red one. Doesn't seem like very many people get that. They like the green because everybody likes Tucker. All my gear's red, so I really like the red, white, and black. I think it looks freaking awesome. Really good looking wing. It's nice and bright. Everybody can see you. So I'm definitely digging the color scheme on this wing. The risers are nice. You got the A lines green, everything else is blue. Your steering lines are red. Very easy color coordinated. Keep everything lined up and in track. Risers are nice and thick and sturdy. In the Malians, they got the protectors on them so they can't untwist themselves. So, you know, you're out flying in some gnarly conditions. That's going to be nice to make sure all your gear is locked in. So maneuvering this wing, it's not an acrobatic wing or anything like that. Using just the main steering lines, it will put the wingtip to the horizon. Pretty easy. I mean, she'll dance a bit. And that's just using the main steering lines. So I'd say it's a hot beat. It's enough that you can get on and play around with and still have fun, but still have that reassurance of that passive safety and that, you know, you're not going to take a whack and just shit go to hell. And again, it's got the tip steer lines that if you really want to get in and play, you know, you can have fun. Looking at it, it's only tied into one spot on the tip of the wing there. So you're not going to be deflecting a whole lot of that tip line, but it is enough that it's going to be more agile than using just the regular brake. So, give you, you know, a little bit more options so you're not ever bored. Again, this is a cross-country wing for me, so I'm not going to be out trying to barrel roll it or do anything crazy. But it's enough I can go out and have fun. Okay, so unsnapped using just the tip lines. Kind of get some rotor here, so I'm not going to get too crazy. But, you know, she'll get up and dance. She'll get that tip down. Still cruising pretty good. You know? Not too bad for a B-rated wing. And this little tip line, it's kind of cool. You know, you just wrap a finger around it. It doesn't take very much pressure to pull that in. So wrap that around the index finger, man, you're good to go. That's all you need. Now the only hard part is if you have winter gloves, trying to snap that sucker back in. Now, it's tight enough that you can just let it go and it'll sit there, no big deal. But if you want to secure it, you just gotta snap it back in. Yeah, I mean, that's a pain in the ass with big winter gloves on, no doubt. So this wing has really long trimmer range, which is one more thing I wanted for a cross-country wing. I want something that has a huge speed range, and this wing has it. I will say I love the speed range. I hate the trimmers. I would say probably 2/3 of the speed on this wing is in the trimmers, and about 1/3 of it is in the speed system. So I hope you can see it has a very, very short speed system on this. So if you're going to use speed bar, you're not going to get much out of it, which is fine because I usually don't use speed bar. I'd rather have my speed and my trimmers. So that actually works out really well for me. But if you want to throw in a speed bar, you got a little extra speed to play with. Now the one thing I don't like about the trimmers on this is everything's really tight. If you have gloves, it's kind of hard to get in here. It's got this magnet on the tip of it, which is nice. It secures to the bottom here right by the carabiner. So it keeps everything tucked in. However, it all bundles in right at the base of the risers where the hoops tie into your carabiners. So it kind of creates a bit of a jumbled mess towards the bottom where you're hooking it. So not the end of the world, just one little thing that I'm not a fan of. It does have this bungee cord draw on it, so it sucks up any slack, and then you hook the magnet in there. So it sucks everything in nice and tight, keeps it out of the way, which is nice. The trimmer uses kind of a pulley system here, so when you pull it in, you know, it kind of pulleys in, so you're using less of your riser room for your trimmers, which is nice. However, it makes it kind of hard to see exactly where your trim settings are. These trims have white stitching on them, so it helps you know where you're at, but they're not numbered. They're not like dudek where you know you have the numbers to understand exactly where you're at. And having it tied in with this pulley, you know, if you're on a white line, you're not sure exactly which white line you're at. So it takes a little bit more to kind of count where you're at, fill it out. But again, I'm kind of nitpicking things right now. These are not deal breaker issues by any means. This is me kind of just nitpicking everything about the wing. So all in all, so far, flight number 4, I'm really happy with this wing. It's checked all of the boxes that I've wanted for a good solid cross-country wing. I'll get some more reps on it, kind of feel out the subtleties of everything. But so far, I really like it. I think it's going to be exactly what I want. So there we go. There was a nice hit. Got rocked pretty good on that one. She's just cruising on through. No big deal. The riser setup, it's got split A's, it's got your main risers here, and you got your A line out here. I practiced some biggers on it last flight. Pulls biggers really easy, really well. You know, you can see that. Folds in nice and stable. Nothing crazy. I'm only doing one side here. Giving a nice little turn, no big deal. I release it, pops right out. So right now we're trimmed in the first white line, so we have a ton of trim range left. I'm not sure where these guys are trimmed, but we're keeping pace with them nicely. Again, Justin's on his Nucleon XX. My buddy Nick's up here with his ITV Piper. So we're just matching pace nicely. And I have a ton of trim range to play around with if I needed it. Okay, so one more thing real quick. I'm gonna do just a speed test for the trimmers. So right now I am fully trimmed in. We're heading into the wind. I'm not gonna do double back. I'm not gonna get crazy with it. I say we have probably a 4 or 5 mile an hour headwind right now. So we are trimmed in, leveled off. I am flying 23, 24 miles an hour. This is fully trimmed in. So the manual states fully trimmed in is about 24 miles an hour. Fully trimmed out's about 35 miles an hour. Again, we got that bit of a headwind. So we'll kind of adjust from there. But yeah, we're right at 24, 25. And that's fully trimmed in. Let's try to get our fat fingers in here. Trim this sucker out. Again, this is one thing I don't like. Like right now, I'm barely able to freaking adjust these trimmers. So I got one half out, one half in. See, that was more work than I would like to have to do. But again, I'm wearing big heated gloves, so it is what it is. Okay, fully trimmed out. Get stabilized here. We are 33, yeah, right about 33 miles an hour. So you're, you know, roughly 9-10 mile an hour gain on your trimmers. So not bad on B-rated wing. And the manual says that you can use your main brake lines in any trim configuration. So I don't have to worry about using just my tip steer line. I can still use my main brake lines to do any of my controls. So that's cool. So the trims are probably my least favorite part of this wing. They work, they do what they need. Not a huge deal. It'll be better in the summer when I don't have big bulky gloves on. But it is what it is. But the speed range is the important part to me, and I like that. So, yeah. So that was my kind of quick and dirty first impressions on the 21-meter Niviuk Qubik. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that name, but oh well. So far I like it. It is everything I was hoping it would be. So I think I made a good purchase. We'll get some more flights on it, get some more experience, go have some fun. Bring it on in. Easy peasy. Alrighty. Awesome flight, awesome landing. I like it.